Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jim Hinds. I'm running for re-election as a council member in the District of Mission. We have many challenges ahead in the next 4 years. At the present moment, council is working on a few of those challenges, and we hope that we can continue to work on those challenges. One of the comments that's being made right now is about the bypass and highways within our community. Personally, I've met with both highways ministers, the Liberal highways minister and the new NDP highways minister. In 2015 at UBCM, our council met with the highways minister from the Liberal government, and we stressed that we wanted to see things that our community would like to see done according to highways. We stressed about the twinning of the highway from Silverdale to Nelson Street. We stressed that we needed a bypass through Mission, and we wanted to get the Murray Street overpass fixed because it is in deplorable condition. In 2016, the federal government and provincial government announced that they were spending up to $40 million to double the highway between Silverdale and Nelson. This is an ongoing project that we're very proud that we've been able to go to the government and lobby them to get this done. At the same time, we're still stressing we want to get the Murray Street overpass done and a few other things within our community. The bypass through the Mission community, when we talked to the Liberal Minister of Highways, we were told that it's not in their long-range plans. When we talked to the NDP Highways Minister, they informed us it's not in their long-range plans. About a month ago, our mayor and our CAO went to Victoria because of the deplorable conditions of our bridge that goes across the Fraser River, and also to lobby again for a bypass through Mission. We were informed through the minister at that time they'd be willing to pave the Mission Bridge across the Fraser River, which has just been done the last week, but the Murray Street overpass does not fit into their 5-year budgeting schedule, and the bypass through Mission does not fit in any of their budgeting schedules. We will continue to lobby the government. Our staff is working with MOTI at all times to make sure we can improve the transportation system through our community. One of the concerns of people living in the Hatzic area is a light at Dooney and Lougheed Highway. The ministry has informed us that it is not at the present moment to their standards where they need to put in a light. We disagree with them, and we disagree with them wholeheartedly, but we have to wave to them because it is they are in charge of highways, we aren't. All we can do is ask and lobby them. Another problem that we see arising in our community is seniors housing. We've been working with our community through the Seniors Housing Committee and through MASH to build a new seniors community center with low-cost housing above it. This will be subsidized housing, 74 units of low-cost housing subsidized by the provincial government through BC Housing, and an 11,000 square foot use facility for seniors in the bottom floor. This is located at the Leisure Center in the vacant lot on Grand Street. We feel we'll have an answer on the funding for that within the next month and a half. The proposal for that has closed on the 17th of September, and the decision should be made pretty soon. We are the only council that has ever locked in money for a senior center within this community. That is locked in, $2.5 million. $1 million of land is available, and the partnership with the Seniors Community Center and with MASH has been very helpful for moving this forward. Another issue that's come up is the homeless issue. Homeless, mental health, and drug addiction. We have received $15 million from the provincial government to build a 40-unit homeless and treatment shelter. The money is there, it's been guaranteed by the provincial government. We're just trying to acquire the land at the present moment. There has been a development come up in the last little while in which other community groups are coming on board and are looking at maybe building what they call a treatment campus for allowing people who are on drugs to get off the drugs. And this is ongoing conversations, but it could be very beneficial to our community. The provincial government actually looks to Mission for some of the inventive ways we are dealing with the homeless people within our community. We don't want homeless camps. We want to treat them with dignity, but at the same time, we do not want to have accumulations of homeless people all over our community. We don't want to end up like Maple Ridge, Nanaimo, Saanich, and other communities are dealing with serious homeless problems. Another problem that's come up, and people have talked about it for many years, is the downtown waterfront development. The downtown waterfront development is going ahead. There was a few steps that were skipped when the announcement came out that they were going to build the waterfront and develop the waterfront for residential housing. One of the biggest things that needs to be done when you do a development is do an environmental study, do a geotech study to find out what's actually what the ground can actually support, and also to do a study that tells you what's buried in the ground and if it has environmental concerns, whether it has to be remediated or whatever. We have just authorized the funds for that about 6 months ago to go ahead and do those tests. You don't just drill one hole, you've got to drill many, many holes all over that area to find out what exactly is in that area. It's been an industrial site dating back to about 1894. So there could be some problems in there, but it will be fixed. But it takes a while. Another problem with the waterfront development, it is an industrial site, and we have to find land to put those companies on. Those are jobs that Mission people work in, and we don't want to see those jobs go away. So we have to find land that those companies can move to. So that is another challenge because we don't have a very large inventory of industrial land. So we've been talking to the government to maybe do some land swaps with some of the AR land that's not being used, and maybe exchange that for other land that could be very productive for production. One thing I'm going to be pushing for, and the provincial government just brought in, was a moratorium on rental housing. And what that means is, if you have rental housing within an area within Mission, and we have to figure out right now where that area would be, probably in a downtown core. If a developer comes in and say buys up some rental housing and wants to put in own type property, a condo or an apartment building where you would own the apartment within that building, they also have to replace the rental property that they're taking away. On October 20th, I asked for your support to carry on with these very important areas that we're working on. We've worked very hard. I'd just like to give you a list of some of the things we've had to deal with in the last 4 years. The first thing we dealt with was the sinking homes, and I think we all remember the 3 homes on 18th Avenue or Best that were sliding into a gully. There could have been a cost to the district of over $1 million in punitive damage. It cost, when the smoke all cleared up and everything was taken care of, the cost was just over $10,000. It was a huge saving to the community. Another situation we had was our fire department is working on a schedule. Our professional fire department's working 5 days a week, 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. We felt that the other hours, the hours when our professional firefighters were not on duty but were at home and relied on our on-call firefighters, that the response times were getting a little bit long. It's very hard at, say, 4 o'clock in the morning to respond to a fire call or an emergency service call when you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and you might be working in Vancouver or wherever. So we decided that the best thing to do is to put our fire department on a 24/7 basis. We have 2 shifts of full-time firefighters working 24/7 within our community. Our response times have dropped dramatically, and we're getting a better service. One of the issues that we had to deal with from previous council was one of their cost-saving methods was to cut the service that the fire department provided to our citizens. Our fire department responds to what they call Delta calls, which are life-saving calls. They're either things like chest pains, heart, breathing problems, things that could be or probably will lead to critical situations with their health. Our council decided, or I should say our last council decided that a good cost-saving method was to cut our fire department from responding to those calls. We reintroduced that. Our fire department responds to all Delta calls at this time. I'm glad to report that we now have 2 ambulances full-time in mission, and the service has changed over as to how they respond to calls. So we're seeing very fast response times for our ambulance service, and they're doing a great job within our community. Another thing we had to deal with is a problem in our rural areas where fire insurance is very expensive. Our fire chief came to us and talked about superior tank service. The superior tank service is very simple. If we can supply enough water for a set length of time, then fire underwriters will guarantee that you can now have a reduction in your fire insurance. I've had reports from people since they got the fire underwriter's certificate that they've saved up to $900 on their fire insurance. We've estimated somewhere around $1.5 million to $2 million were saved by people living in rural areas because of the reduction in their fire costs. We've updated all our bylaws. Some of our bylaws were so antiquated that we were actually using other people's bylaws. Our building bylaw was dated 1985. So our building people were using bylaws that were coming out of Chilliwack and Abbotsford because they were more modern. We've updated all those bylaws. We also worked at setting up master plans so that we have a structure moving ahead into our community. So we have a a Parks and Recreation master plan that covers all our parks, all our facilities, shows what needs to be done, shows what the stages are and what people want. It was all, the information was gathered by our Sports and Recreation Department, and it came with consultation from our community. We also have a sewer master plan, a water master plan, a master plan pretty well for every infrastructure that we have in our community, because we need to know what we need in the future, and we need to know how we have to, what we have to replace and when we have to replace it. So all those plans are in place. They were never there before. If we go ahead with the senior center, which we hope we'll hear about, like I said, in about 2 months, that's when the grants will be coming through, then we'll be able to turn the senior center that is being used right now into a youth center. Right now our youth center is an old handball court. It's a very small area, and youth are very important to our community. We have a lot of troubled youth in our community, and we need to work with those people to make them outstanding citizens within our community. That is why this year we had a large, or pardon me, 2 years ago we had a large demand from people that we wanted a new all-weather field built in our community. At that time, our sports teams in the winter were having to go out of town to play their home games. We built an all-weather field. It came in under budget, and it's rated as one of the top all-weather fields in the Lower Mainland. Another project we took on was the skate park. The skate park that was built back in the 90s, and though it was very useful, it was out of date for the people. The people that need it are the youth in our community, so we got a company in to design a brand new skate park. And it's been very popular with our community, very popular with parents, very popular with the kids that use it. Another thing we dealt with when we first got elected was our police protection. We had not hired a police officer in our community in over 9 years. And this is because we were trying to save money. But when you try to save money by compromising your safety, all you do is make your community unsafe. And that's not what that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be making our community safe for everybody. So we agreed that we were going to hire 6 new police officers. We hired 3 in the first year and 1 every year after. We have seen a dramatic decrease in our crime rates across all aspects of our crime system. The police also set up with communities a thing called the MASS team, and that's a group of people with various community groups, community services, the RCMP, mental health, things of that nature, to help people before they go into crisis. When we see people that we know are on the edge, then we help them out as best we can through the MASS system, and it's working very well. Another thing that we worked on, we have, when the development comes through, what they call a park amenity fee. And the park amenity fee is based on the gross cost or the gross value of a development when it goes ahead. Anything over 3 houses has to pay a park amenity fee. And that fee, like I said, is based on the gross value of that property. The problem is, under the community charter, that money can only go towards buying new parkland. And believe me, in Mission, we have lots of parkland. What we don't have is the ability to fix those parks up, make amenities in those parks, clean the forested area out where the parkland is to make it into a park. So we found a way through our staff to work out something. So instead of a developer putting money into a park amenity fees, they do a similar in-kind donation to our Parks Department. This has allowed us to spend $850,000 on park amenities that will be coming to our parks in the next few months. The orders are already in. We're just waiting for the equipment to arrive. We added bylaw officers. We had 2 bylaw officers working when we first started as council, but one of them was actually working as a bylaw officer and as a fire inspector. And people from as long as I can remember have told me, why do we have bylaws in place if we don't enforce them? We're now enforcing those bylaws, and some people are upset that we're enforcing the bylaws, but you can't have bylaws on the books and not enforce them. There's no point in it. So we are enforcing the bylaws, and things are slowly coming around the way people want their community to be. Another big project we took on, and again, there was some opposition to it, was the revitalization of the downtown core. We spent about $3.5 to $4 million on the revitalization of the downtown core, and we heard a lot of comments from people who aren't involved in the downtown area that why are we spending money on that place? Well, the downtown core is very important. It is the hub of our community. It was in decline, I guess you would call it, when we first took over. But it has now got more businesses down there than it's had in the last 26 years. And there are new businesses coming every day. As you can probably hear today, we're at the leisure center and it's very busy. We have young kids out on the ice rink learning how to play hockey. We have people in the swimming pools. The whole leisure center is full. So that is one of our priorities, to build new recreational sites within our community. I'd just like to say on October 20th, please support me and let's build a better community as we go along. Thank you. Jim Hinds, running for council. Thank you very much.